I entered a Catholic church years ago. And I thought, it's God's house, isn't it? That was my argument. If they wouldn't throw me out, I thought, if I got there and they said, what are you doing here? I'll say, I want to pray. I want to pray.
Greetings, my dearest family. Welcome again to Direct TV, bringing to you the truth with Brother Joshua. And my dearest family, it is Global Day of Prayer. So the one was quite amazing with the man of God, Reverend Dr. Chris, as he actually shared a lot of thoughts with us. Okay, but I want to start today's video with this thing is said about churches being open during this Global Day of Prayer, so that people can come and pray in the churches. And he did share an experience when he came into the city years ago, and when he needed a place to pray. Okay, and his encounter in the Catholic Church. And I want to say the Catholic Church is just like that. I've experienced it too. All right, you can go in and you pray anytime you want, so it's always quite amazing. So I would like you to listen to this video. Before we dive into the video, for those of you coming very newly to my channel, just kindly hit the subscribe button, subscribe, like today's video, guys. Watch this, I'll be right back.
So make sure that you do. And I would say to pastors and ministers of the gospel everywhere, motivate your brethren, help to coordinate their prayers from now till tomorrow night. Ensure that they're praying. It's a global day of prayer. We have to make sure that we do it. So right now, we're going to go into a session of prayer. And many of us have churches, and what happens in the churches when they're not having a church service on a Sunday? What happens? I remember before I started pastoring in the church, we go out for evangelism, we go out for prayer, and we used a lot of some kind of places for prayer. But when we got into the cities, I was looking for places to pray, not the kind of forest, we go into the forest, into the bush to pray. We used to do all that. But now in the cities, I knew we couldn't find those kind of places easily. I was looking for church buildings to pray. Let me tell you what I found. As I looked for places to pray, most of the churches were locked. They were locked. What were they doing? They were not expecting their members to come pray. I thought if I got there, at least they'll ask me, what are you doing here? I eventually, of course, entered one or the other different times, and I sat towards the back somewhere and I prayed. I finally got some, but most were locked. So from tonight till we meet again tomorrow, will your church be open for prayer? I think you should let your brethren know they can from wherever they are come to the church, have a few minutes of prayer, and they can come with their friends, come to church to pray. Sometimes they're on break. Go to church to pray. Why not? We have to reculture ourselves in praying. Remember, round the clock till now, since 2020, since beginning of 2020, before the pandemic, and I heard another one in that documentary earlier on today, scamdemic, pandemic. Wonderful. So before that, we were praying every 15 minutes of every hour and was still doing it. It's still on. So you can get into a church building, your church. Why not? I actually entered the Catholic church too. And they didn't stop me. I entered a Catholic church years ago. So I wanted to pray. I just wanted to pray. And I thought, it's God's house, isn't it? That was my argument. If they wouldn't throw me out, I thought, if I got there and they said, what are you doing here? I'll say, I want to pray. I want to pray. And I entered the Catholic church. And I took some time to pray. They didn't send me out. When I was done, I left. Now be careful, nowadays, you might think it was a church, and then turned out it wasn't a church. By the time you found out, you were already in trouble. So be careful. Times have changed, you see. Times have changed. Because now they suspect people. See, you come into a church and then they say they don't know you and they call the police. They arrest you before you are able to say, I came to pray. See, they say, okay, now finish the prayer in the police station. Okay. Oh, glory be to God. We also have our unending praise. I told you when we got started, we're just going to continue praising the Lord. Every half hour, we're singing praise to God. Every day, every day. You can join us. Go to pastorchrislive.org and you find the pages for the 15-minute prayer, Pastor Chris Live prayer. You find the unending praise. Participate in this. Thank you, Lord Jesus. So while we're praying now, the choir is going to be singing as well. It's prayer and praise. While we're praising the Lord, we're praying, 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 praying. So you pray with the words that I've shared with you. Use the message that I've shared with you as ammunition for prayer. I have just given you ammunition for prayer. This message I just shared with you is our authority for prayer and decree. We have the right to pray for these nations in this way and to make our decrees. Declare the decree. Use the words that we have said. He says, we are the restraining force today. Restrain the adversary. Restrain the enemy. Restrain the Antichrist spirits. He will not rule our streets. He will not rule our nations. The Antichrist spirit will not dominate our cities. He will not dominate our counties. He will not dominate the states. These nations are not for sale. They don't belong to the Antichrist. Declare the decree. We are the light of the world. That's a decree. And as long as we're in this world, we're the light of the world. We decide what happens to this world. They live in our world. We are not living in their world. This is our world. Christ in us, the hope of glory.
There you have it, my dearest family, with the man of God, by person of the highly esteemed Reverend Dr. Chris Oyakhilome, DSc, DD. You see, some of the thoughts he shared there is quite important. A lot of brethren, a lot of churches need to wake up to prayer. Neglecting prayer is very rampant these days, okay? But a lot of churches need to wake up, not just anyhow prayer, not praying for, your personal needs, you see. A lot of churches need to wake up to praying for the nations, praying for God's people, because a lot of things is actually going on, all right, and we can't allow the Antichrist spirit to rule us. not when we as Christians are still here. That's the more reason we must pray and put things in check. All right. So I believe that this video have blessed you. All right, and you are inspired. So let me know in the comment section what you like in today's video. All right, what blessed you, and I would love to see my next video. For those of you coming very new to my channel, just kindly hit the subscribe button, subscribe to this channel, and then if you haven't liked the video up to this point, hit the like button, like today's video, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.